So,
Did you check
do what?
my gnome that I painted?
I saw the gnome. Now, where I saw a picture of the gnome the other day. There was a gnome, and the question was something like, should the gnome stay white or should it be painted? And
I painted and I what they wanted.
painted. So, how long did it take you to paint that? You said 2 days.
2 days. Started yesterday, finished it up today.
Now, have you ever seen the Michael J. Fox movie called The Frighteners?
Long time ago, I loved it.
So there's at the very beginning of the movie, Frank Bannister, that's Michael J. Fox's character. He's driving crazy, driving his car around these curves. He runs around these curves and he knocks over a gnome and he plows right through it. And it's just like the gnome that you painted.
Yeah.
You remember that scene at the very beginning of the movie?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched it in so long, but I remember it.
Yeah, you should revisit that. It's a fun movie. I like it. Frighteners.
Really good movie.
Yeah. So we were going to go on and we were going to talk about some pet peeves that we have.
Before we start the pet peeve thing, I just want to give a shout out to Nate. I'm wearing an NWO shirt, and since he couldn't be here tonight, so I know he's an NWOite just like me. So NWO for life. So
right now, before we get into the pet peeves thing, there's a movie called The Wrestler. Have you watched this movie?
I devoured that movie, and I love that movie.
So it's such a wonderful movie. I rewatched it again the other day, about 3 or 4 days ago, and some of the stuff that they go through, because what would you like? You know more about it than I do, but they're kind of like I know they're like the wrestling that he's in the movie. He's past his prime, so he's going downhill. But there's also some upcomers kind of going up as he's going down.
Yeah.
What class of wrestling would that be called?
I would think I would probably more likely follow the life of Jake the Snake, really, because he was at that point in the 80s and 90s, and then whenever he went into his downward spiral of drugs and alcohol, he became a forgotten memory pretty much, but the fans still remember Jake the Snake. They love Jake the Snake, and just like how they did with Randy the Ram. And I found out in that last match in that movie, he's actually fighting a former wrestler that was in WCW. That was Ernest. Yeah, that was Ernest the Cat Miller.
Okay.
That movie's been out since 2012, and I just realized that.
Well, it was pretty cool because he said I was watching a lot of interviews. And he said, when he did the movie, he originally didn't really respect wrestlers because he didn't consider it a real sport because he was actually a boxer in addition to being an actor.
Right.
And he said after he started training, he really learned that these guys, even though they're kind of some of the things are kind of they know what's coming, it's still hard on the body. And you got to be in tip-top shape to do some of these, theatrics and acrobats and moves, and you're really getting hit, and not an easy.
Back in the 8th grade, and there, my 8th grade year it was middle school. For the annual, the teachers asked us what we wanted to be whenever we graduated high school. I said a WCW wrestler, and the irony of it all. WCW foreclosed the year before I graduated, so that was lived, and I was like, well, okay. So I never became a wrestler. I was a backyard wrestler, but just the main time wrestler. No.
Is that something? If you had the opportunity, would you have pursued that?
God, yeah, I'll definitely do it.
What did you already have like a name and stuff?
Oh yeah, I would have. My name back then was Hot Rod Aaron Yates. I was like a mixture of Hulk Hogan, Mankind, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. I was a bunch of wrestlers combined, and I had the the charisma of Hulk Hogan. I had the hardcore skills of Mick Foley. Like I had the mic skills of Chris Jericho.
Okay.
I was a hodgepodge of all the wrestlers and the attitude of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay. Well, I remember watching wrestling as a little kid, and it had like I'm trying to think right off. They were twins, and this was probably the '80s, and they were missing teeth. They often had on like overalls, and they would walk around doing this kind of thing.
The Bushwhackers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bushwhackers. Yeah, they were one of my favorite tag teams.
They walk around real funny or something, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they walk around like that?
Yeah, they did that right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Andre Ryan actually managed him before he actually retired, and then died a year later, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Andre, he was actually one of the coolest dudes out there, apparently. So.
Well, this might, something might be funny that we could actually do, and we could do it within the show, and maybe turn it into a sketch. Is that maybe maybe I come out and say that I'm going to start a new career as a wrestler, and everybody laughs at me. What was that?
I got a wrestling mask you could wear.
Well, let's say everybody like makes fun of me except you, but you want to train me.
Yes.
So like like you do some of the stuff, like whatever it would be. We could drag that on for a long time as well.
Really, we ought to try to go up to.
I mean, it doesn't have to be me. It could be whomever.
Or it could be me. I'll do it, and you can train me. Well, we could go up to Blacksburg, and if somehow we can get in contact with Jimmy Valiant, the Boogie Woogie Man.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he'll be up for filming something like that.
What, does he still do matches and stuff?
He does. It's just the fact that the dude is so old and ancient, he can't really, move around anymore.
You could have contacts though, like if we, how sometimes they'll have I mean, I don't know if they still, if they do it now, but a few years ago they'd have like when Donald went on there, whenever Donald Trump went on there, and I've seen Pee Wee Herman on there, and I've seen just different people, like random people you wouldn't expect to be on there. I wonder if they would let us, feel like the audience would think it's real, but the wrestlers would know it's fake. Like we somehow could get into the ring or something.
Maybe we can do one of them independent shows or something that comes to the high school gyms or something like that.
That would be fun. That would be a fun thing to do.
There's a wrestling school in St. Paul. Actually, one of my friends' moms used to date the guy that runs that place. The guy that goes by the wrestling name as the Iron Cross. I don't know the real dude's name or anything, but yeah. Apparently back.
Everybody knows the Iron Cross. They need to get in contact with.
Yeah, definitely.